Welcome to this video on the causes of the Civil War. We will explore the deep divisions that led the United States to conflict. By the mid-1800s, two Americas emerged. The industrial North focused on factories, trade, and wage labor. The agricultural South relied on plantations, cotton, and enslaved labor. These different ways of life created a growing divide. The first crisis was the Missouri Compromise of 1820. Missouri was admitted as a slave state and Maine as a free state, maintaining a balance. The compromise also prohibited slavery north of the 36 degrees 30-minute line, but the issue of slavery persisted. Cotton became king in the South. Production exploded from 73,000 bales in 1800 to over 4 million by 1860, making it the most important export. This immense growth, however, depended entirely on enslaved labor. The abolition movement saw voices rising for justice and freedom. Key figures like William Lloyd Garrison, Frederick Douglass, and Harriet Tubman risked everything to expose the cruelty of slavery and aid enslaved people to freedom. The Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848, brought new territories to the U.S. The critical question was whether slavery would expand into these new lands. The North and South had conflicting views on the issue. The Compromise of 1850 was a temporary attempt to ease tensions. It included admitting California as a free state, popular sovereignty in Utah and New Mexico territories, a strengthened Fugitive Slave Act, and ending the slave trade in D.C. The Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 sparked outrage in the North. It required all citizens to assist in capturing escaped slaves and denied captured individuals a jury trial. The law forced people to choose between legality and morality. The Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854 ignited fury by proposing popular sovereignty to decide on slavery in the territories. This act repealed the Missouri Compromise line and led to violence known as Bleeding Kansas. Bleeding Kansas saw democracy turn violent as pro-slavery and anti-slavery settlers clashed. This bloodshed showed that the nation could no longer agree peacefully on slavery and was a warning of the Civil War to come. The Republican Party rose in 1854, uniting former Whigs, Free Soilers, and anti-slavery Democrats. Their main goal was to stop the expansion of slavery westward under the motto, "Free soil, free labor, free men." The Dred Scott Supreme Court decision of 1857 shocked the nation. The court ruled that African Americans could not be citizens, and Congress could not prohibit slavery in territories. This outraged the North and removed legal barriers to slavery's expansion. The Lincoln-Douglas debates of 1858 defined the crisis. Stephen Douglas supported popular sovereignty, while Abraham Lincoln argued that slavery must be put on a path to ultimate extinction. Lincoln gained national fame, setting the stage for the next election. John Brown's raid on Harper's Ferry in 1859 was a turning point. Brown attempted to start an armed slave uprising. While captured and executed, his actions showed that the conflict over slavery was moving from words to violence. There would be no going back. The election of 1860 fractured the nation. Abraham Lincoln won the popular and electoral college vote without carrying a single Southern state. Feeling politically powerless, this triggered immediate secession by Southern states, putting the Union in danger. The South walks out. Secession begins. South Carolina seceded on December 20, 1860, followed by 6 more states in early 1861. These states formed the Confederate States of America, breaking the Union apart. Economic tensions fueled the conflict. The industrial North favored high tariffs to protect their factories, which the agricultural South opposed, calling the 1828 tariff the Tariff of Abominations. South Carolina even claimed the right to nullify federal laws, sparking the nullification crisis. The debate over states' rights versus federal power was a fundamental disagreement. The Southern view, championed by John C. Calhoun, held that states voluntarily joined the Union and could therefore leave or secede. The Northern view saw the Union as permanent and indissoluble. Cultural divergence deepened the divide by the 1850s. The North was industrial, urban, and diverse, while the South remained rural, agricultural, and structured by traditional hierarchies. Different newspapers reinforced stereotypes and mutual suspicion. Compromise failed over 3 decades. The Missouri Compromise, the Compromise of 1850, and the Kansas-Nebraska Act all created new controversies. By 1860, both sides viewed any compromise as surrender, exemplified by the failure of the final Crittenden Compromise. The Civil War began when the Confederate attack on Fort Sumter in April 1861 forced the border states to choose sides. The war had begun, and the Union was plunged into a fight to determine its future.